lecture. According to the syllabus, we are into the topic now. We are already knowing what is artificial intelligence, basic applications, introductions, the basic knowledge of what exactly is the word meaning of artificial intelligence. Okay, so we'll move on to the syllabus. Now, after the lecture, you will be able to understand so many definitions of artificial intelligence. Okay, the basic definitions, they're all based on the thought processes and reasoning. Thought processes means the way we think, the way we reason, how to find the the reasoning is there always, is it not? Some ways we try to reason out how exactly it might have happened and all those things, and then we find that yes, this is the basic cause for some problem. So such a trait of human being is helping us to define the artificial intelligence. Okay, then the definitions also are related with the human performance as a standard. We want to match the machine with the same as the human performance. Then goes the definition with the rationality. Now all these words seem very typical according to the syllabus. We will clear it out in the next slide. Okay, rationality is nothing but the performance to the highest idealistic condition. Okay, so we'll move into these definitions. I hope you see the whole diagram, 4 boxes you are seeing here. Whatever definitions we want to describe or want to explain, they're all brought up in one square. Now the machine is actually going to be intelligent. Okay, so how it will think, whether it will think humanly, whether it will think rationally, whether it will act humanly, or whether it will act rationally. These are very different words, technical words related to psychology that has been used for artificial intelligence explanation of the definitions. Now in each box there are 2 definitions which have been described by those people who have been working on these definitions. Okay, you can keep that in your notes as it is, but to understand we have to go in a particular different manner. Now I will say that thinking humanly, what do you mean by thinking humanly? How the machine should think humanly? There is one word, okay, cognitive science. Now cognitive science is actually nothing but that part of the psychology where it is studying the characteristics of the human being. It is studying the characteristics of human being. That means whether the machine is going to behave, think like a human being. Now what are the different ways a human being can think? Okay, we have many emotions. Thinking is related to the emotions also. Okay, how the machine will be able to think like a human being? Okay, if it is going to think like it, if it is going to go for some problem solving methodology as done by a human being, then it will be called as a cognitive science. We will see this in the later part. Okay, we have deeper things to be talking about the cognition science. Okay, then we'll go into this I will just put on all the points here into the points where I want to make the machine think rationally. How do you mean? What do you mean by this thinking rationally? See, rationally is something where things are very perfect. Rational, that means this is very almost ideal. How will the machine think very rationally? How it is done? Now in this system, the machine is going to act like a mathematician. Okay, for example, when you solve some theorem, you remember in the geometry and all, you had given some corollaries were given, some statements were given, you had to prove it. So these were the theories developed by the mathematicians. So whether the machine will think in this fashion, and if it is thinking in that logical way, mathematical way, then it is called as thinking rationally. Okay, in the first part we thought about thinking humanly, okay, where it can be like a simple human being thinking, a very lay person, like how he can think, how he can walk, how he can take some problem solving decisions, all these thought process of a human being. Okay, that is a different part. Like even mathematicians are human beings, but they are doing in a very focused manner. So that focused manner, idealistic manner, is called as rational thinking of a human being. Okay, but it is done almost like a very focused manner. So this focused manner behavior or thinking is called as thinking rationally. So there are based on these two definitions. They help into this. Sorry. Now, moving into this. This is thinking rational. These are the two different definitions. I will send the slide also into the classroom, Google Classroom, into this so that you can make out. I've even sent some notes based on this, so you can refer those also. Now the next part is acting humanly. This is acting humanly. The machine is going to act like a human being. Now, in this, for example, acting like a human, for example, I'll tell you, when you are moving around, you are taking a vehicle, and there is a speed breaker. Without your notice, what do? Because of your prior knowledge, you suddenly or certainly you make an action which doesn't make you fall around there, though you are not knowing about the existence of the speed breaker or some, you can say, a pothole sort of. So there, all of a sudden, the human being is coming into action, and this is called as acting humanly. Whether a machine can do that too, like acting like human being. So there are two theories based on this. So just now, what does it say is they want to create machines that perform the functions which require intelligence that performed by the people. Okay, if it was done by a person, it should be that intelligent as the person. Also, one of the persons, the scientists have given the rich and the night, what they have done is the studies of how to make the computers do the jobs at a moment where the people are better than the machine. So there are certain things, like for example, I can give you a handwriting. Suppose a person is very good at handwriting, he can do it very nicely, but whether the machine also can do that way. So this person is doing it in a very beautiful writing he can do. Whether the machine can also do with that thing, with that intelligence. Now, one of the tests performed, we will talk about this test in the later slide, about the Turing test. This Turing test will explain how a machine can act like a human being. Okay, so this is what is required in this Turing test. Now, the last part that is to be defined to complete the definitions of artificial intelligence is acting rationally. Thinking rationally, you have come to know. Mathematically, they are trying to solve some theories, and logically, it is going to think. But how it will act rationally? Okay, it is a study of the design elements of intelligent agents. It means what? Like perfection. When the machine will reach the perfection beyond the imagination of a person, then it can be called as acting rationally. Okay, so this is one more strategy we will be studying in the next slides. So here the job is to construct the very rational agents. Like they should behave very, act in a very intelligent manner. I'll give an example. Suppose you have the Chrome, you are trying to Google search. What is happening? It is observing you because you have very recently installed your Chrome. So initially there will be no memory sort of. What happens after few days? Depending upon your way of searching, Depending upon the contents of your search, what it does is it keeps the history. Before you type, suppose I'm typing artificial intelligence, what will happen? It has already given me, the moment I type A, it has given me all that artificial intelligence, everything is there beyond, is it not? So depending upon my recent searches, it is adding up things. So how it is doing? It has come with some rational agents which is helping to collect all my memory, and it is acting much better, and my search has become easier, is it not? So moving into this test, this is a very interesting test. This he is called as the father of artificial intelligence. He is Alan Turing. So the test is called as the Turing test based on his name. Now, how it is going to act? Let us understand. This was introduced in 1950 by Alan Turing, the photo I presented in the last slide. Now, what is done here is this is some sort of experiment. The experimenter says that there is, I will give you one pictorial observation. I will come to this part. Yeah, here. Observe on the left hand side, there is one, on the left hand side, there is one interrogator. Okay. And on the right hand side, there is a wall. There is a wall. He is not able to see who is there inside. He is going to text some written messages. Okay. Then he has two members to check. Now he doesn't know whether it is a computer or whether one is computer, the other person is a human being. So these two will be answering the question as presented by this interrogator, okay, by the text. He doesn't know who is there on the other side of the wall. Okay. Now when the interrogator will not be able to distinguish means he will not know who has answered, whether it is the answer is coming from the machine or by the human being. When it will happen? When the machine is giving all the proper answers similar to the human being. Okay. In that case, the machine will be called as intelligent. It will be called as intelligent. It is intelligent like the human beings. The person's performance. If there is no difference, both of them are performing in the same manner. Okay. So that is what is the meaning of this Turing test. Let us move further. What we had done? What we have done? We have given a test to the computer, and computer has to pass the test given by the interrogator. Now the test has been given, and what has made the computer pass? What has made the computer pass the test? He should have the not he, the computer, it should have the following capabilities. What? The natural language, it should communicate very nicely in English. The whatever writing languages are there, you know, all those, it should be able to interpret properly. It should have the knowledge. Suppose there is a mathematics question, it should have the knowledge of all that it is going to hear or get the text. Reasoning, what exactly is asked, then it should draw the conclusions. And if say there is some modifications as given, it should be able to detect and finally give the meaning of the changes happening. Okay. So these are the different things the computer should have, then and then only it will pass. So these are the basic requirements for the machine, and if it is doing, then only it is called as intelligent, because it has come up with a similar answer to that of the human being. That is what we had seen here in this class and in this slide. So we have seen that both claim to be intelligent. Machine, the person, the interrogator here can say that this is also a human being. So which is nothing but the intelligence has been proved by the computer. Okay. This is again the same words I have put into this. That means the the main idea is the computer possesses the intelligence. That is what the underlying concept is. Okay, I will just move on. There is one more thing. Somebody says that whether the Turing test is that legitimate. Suppose machine cannot be said to be intelligent if it is not thinking. One theory came forward. See, some concept is introduced. Again, there are some objections also taken into this. If it is only giving proper answers, what takes to give the proper answer? For example, I'll give an example. When you write an exam, okay, student 1 is there, student 2 is there, he is copying also from this person, okay. This is a ranker person, okay, and this person is a just passer, okay. Now the question paper is a bit difficult. He is keeping on asking the answers. Now he is also getting 60 marks. He is also getting some 64 or 65. Whether this one person is intelligent, am I getting the answer? Okay, whether the person number 1 is intelligent. What did Turing test say? That the performance is same as 1 and 2. See, the performance is same as 1 and 2. But he has copied from the person 2. And he has got, there were some methods he has used to copy. And
Ma'am, screen is not visible.
now since, see, it's been so much of time I'm discussing. आत्ताच झालं असं का पहिल्यापासून?
Just ma'am.
Okay, I will just check. Connection, I will check. Network is okay. Screen is visible, it says. Whether it is visible?
No, ma'am. Only blank screen we can see.
Now the PPT?
No, ma'am.
Again, I will have to resume.
Dear ma'am.
Now it's getting. I don't know what happens in between the
Yes,
connection.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now it's
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, are you getting the concept? Are you getting the concept?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
Turing
ma'am.
test we were talking about, and in which we had one computer and a human being under the test. Okay, interrogator or a person who is going to conduct a test is on the one side of the wall. Here, the wall I have shown, and the other side we have one computer, and I'm showing it because you have lost the visualization. That's why. This is a person, a human being, and one computer. Both of them have performed nicely. Now, when the answers are coming, he doesn't identify or distinguish whether the answer is coming from the person or from a computer. When this situation is there, at that time, the machine is said that yes, it is having intelligence. Now, after a few time later, the Turing test was conducted. One of the scientists said that whether this situation, the example that I have given you now, whether this situation can be said that a person can be intelligent. I had given an example. Person 1 and person 2 both are in the exam. Person 2 is a ranker, or the person 1 is just passed. He is having 40 marks, that is 40% passing, and he is a person of high rank, second. Now, because there are some questions which he wants the answers, then he is copying from the second person and he is getting a good mark score. Okay. Now, you just see performance of both the two people are same. Now, this person is having 65, this person also is having 65. Can we say the person 1 is also intelligent? This was the question asked by scientist Mr. John Searle. What he said is, this he proved it in the Chinese room. Last time I had given an example. In 1980, it was challenged, saying that if you go for a Chinese room, you give some tools. In the last Chinese room argument, I had explained how a non-Chinese person given a set of tools can write and read the, interpret the Chinese words and appear that he is going to be a Chinese and he understands Chinese as good as the person who knows a Chinese language very well, though he is not knowing. That means this is mimicking. He is trying to mimic a person. So whether he is intelligent, so that was what the concept behind that. I had given you last time this example. I'm just repeating it once again. Okay, all set of rules. He is trying to match. Here example is there. One Chinese symbol is there. Then he returns this Chinese symbol by, if he finds this, he returns this by. So these are the codes you want to follow. So whatever has been asked, he will try to refer and then give it back. That means without knowing Chinese, if he is given set of instructions, he can do the mapping and make the other person outside understand that he is understanding the Chinese. So whether this person is again intelligent or in knowing Chinese, no. So this was one question. So these are the lines of Mr. John Searle. He says that machine could pass the test simply by manipulating symbols, that is copying, matching, and all those things. And it can be considered intelligent if and if they do not have understanding of what they're doing. If they are understanding, that means if they're able to think and interpret, then only it is called as intelligent. Otherwise, it will not be considered intelligent. That is what the understanding of the thing is. That means the machine should have not only the matching concept, but also the way a human being thinks, the human being understands, the human being reasons and takes the decision. Similarly, he should be able to do. Then and then the Turing test will say that the person is intelligent. I think I am clear with this. There is one video, if you insist, I can play and we can understand about this. But I think I should go for the next slide and then we'll see. Human like thinking, the way this the slide I told you in the detail, I will have it. What about the cognitive science? That means these are the characteristics of the human being. Okay, I am very slowly going. Cognitive science means every person is having all these capabilities. The machine should have these capabilities. Are you getting this? The human intelligent behaviors are these. These are cognitive science elements. Perceptron, reasoning, learning, adapting, understanding natural language, and solving problems. Okay, so that is what. See, how do you remember perception? I already have explained. Reasoning, I have explained. Learning, that we've already seen, a person can learn. Anything can be learned by a person. Any language, or you can say some skill or driving, anything. If you want him to do some task, the person learns. That is what the capability is. Whether the machine has this, machine has to be provided some set of rules, some set of programming, and then only it will be able to do it. Is it not? Suppose there is a robot which is going to only lift and place, lift and place. If it is asked to crush it, it will not do it because it doesn't know, it has not been programmed. Is it not? Then you have to go for understanding natural languages. Now, how about this natural language? Right from the day one, when we had started to talk, you remember people say you have uttered the word mama or papa or mama. From that day only, that day onward, you are trying to learn more and more and more words. Until this day, have you forgotten any word? No, you try to keep on learning it naturally. So whether the machines are trying to do this, if it is doing, it is intelligent. What about the problem solving? Whether the problem solving happens here? Yes, a person, suppose he is bought into some, suppose you are coming to a college and all of a sudden you have one accident or something. How do you react? You react in a positive manner. You don't make any chaos. What you do is you try to have some arrangement of ambulance. You solve the problem. This is the skill. Okay, we don't get lost into the problem. We just want to come out of the problem. So that problem solving skill also should be there with that of the this thing, the in the machine should do all the problems. So all these are natural God given gift which every human being is having. Even the animals are having this, though they are not understanding this speech language, but body language and all those they study for each other animals. Is it not? We see that like the you can say the tiger and all, what they do when they are there for the drinking water. You say people say that in the forest, the river pond, river like the water things, when the tiger is coming to the water place to drink the water, the other animals are not into the sight. They only come when the tiger has gone away. How about this? They have learnt that this is the place where it comes, and if you're going there, if you're confronting the tiger, it may kill us. Is it not? Such a thing is there. So many things are to be learnt by the machine. We are still in the talking, but still work is going on, and still the artificial intelligence has to come to some level. Okay. Then you have so many branches of cognition science are there, but at this artificial intelligence is one which we want to pick up. Okay, that is what, which is having, this is nothing but the scientific study of the mind, brain, intelligent behavior. Even see, I have mentioned here the animals. If they are having, then only that's called as the artificial intelligence. This is simply the mind and brain which will work together, and then you have that property. And because God has given all these things naturally to us, so we are not aware of it. But when the machine wants to do the same thing, then we really are into this mind and intelligence, how it will work. It has to take into this. That means for every intelligence, every thought process of a human being, every problem solving skill, for every reasoning, for every perceptron, we have to provide the language. That means we have to provide the understanding, we have to provide the programming to the artificial intelligence, and then only it will be done by the machine. For example, have you heard about the Alexa? One of the this thing, have you heard about the Alexa? She that like that is a device, personal device, personal assistant device. What it does, you are almost bored. What we have seen in some advertisement, the person is calling at this thing, no? And then if you ask them to sing a song from that particular album, it keeps on singing. Is it not? The machine sings. Okay, you hear the song properly. For these things, what has happened? The moment you have said some command, some you have requested, that request is in speech. The speech synthesis has been done, the speech recognition has been done by the, because you are a registered user, is it not? You are a registered. If I am speaking something, my voice will not be taken. The person who is owning the device, he has registered his voice, and that voice is registered, understood by the device. And now once it is understood, yes, it is my owner who is going to command the song. So what it will do is, it is taken the understanding that yes, this is the person, and then what he wants, he is checking the database, he wants to listen the song. And the song means he is having already the collection, okay? Or perhaps it is going to go for the even the server, okay, and get the song and play it to the speakers. Okay, so all these things are going hand in hand. So it is as if somebody is listening to us. Suppose we are asking a friend of us, yes, play this song. So it is like that. So it's that easy to understand the artificial intelligence. So every day, these years it has coming, it become easy for us to understand the concept of artificial intelligence. So cognitive science is really very important for the machine to understand or to get the intelligence concept into it. Rational thinking, already I have told you, the mathematicians working logically to solve the difficult problems, and systems you want to build which think like this. Okay, rational acting, it should correct a rational agent for the best. We have to construct this. What we have to do is we have to construct a rational agent. That means we want an expert to work into that domain. We want a real expert who will do no faults, who will be never at loss, he will be always reliable. That is what the best performance he will be doing. Okay, so that is what no error position of actions are called as rational acting. I assume that it is understood, and that is the end of the slide. And any difficulty, you can ask me straight away. Okay, please ask. Yes, please.